We got to get to UFC 212. Our very own Dave Ross has been zoned in, to say the least, on that. Dave,
we've all been forced to be UFC fans.
Yes.
Max Holloway stunned the Rio de Janeiro crowd tonight with that TKO victory. How did he get this done? Your rapid reaction to this fight, it was kind of crazy. I heard you screaming in there.
It was just an electric 3-round fight. And in that third round, Aldo got tired. And Jose Aldo, you're not used to seeing him. He looked bulked up. He looked bigger. And he looked like he was kind of conserving his energy in the first round, and then he would just unleash on Max Holloway. And there was a point in the very first round when you thought, this thing's over. Aldo's got it. He had a flying knee. He had Max hurt. And then in the second round, it was an epic war for 5 minutes, back and forth, back and forth. And Max, at the end of that, and it's almost like when you take a guy's best shot. I think Max took Jose Aldo's best shot, and he looked at him and said, come on. Like, you got more? Because I'm still here, and I'm not breathing heavy. And then in the third round, he absolutely took over. 2 big right hands, dropped Jose Aldo. Some people, and even myself to a degree, I was a little bit surprised that the fight was stopped when it was stopped. Now, Aldo was not defending himself, and Holloway probably had 10 to 15 uninterrupted shots. So you go, well, of course you stopped the fight, and I understand that. But it almost seemed like Jose Aldo was trying to ride it out to the end of the third round, and he could not get there. Big John McCarthy called a stop to it. And Aldo immediately protested the stoppage. And you could just see, and I kind of, my heart sunk a little bit for Aldo because he looked devastated. And it was like so quiet in the arena in Brazil. And this is a legend of the sport. To lose in front of your countrymen and women in the manner in which you did has got to be devastating to Jose Aldo. Losing to Conor McGregor in 13 seconds, it was almost a flash knockout. It was one punch. And you can say, well, that happens. He got dominated in that third round by Max Holloway, and to the point where they were forced to stop the fight because he couldn't defend himself. There is a big difference losing the way you did tonight to Max Holloway than the way you lost to Conor McGregor when you lost your belt.
So you bring up the Conor McGregor fight. Do you think that fight still haunts him,
Yes.
and that's what happened tonight?
That'll be a
or
great
did
point.
Holloway just flat out win this fight?
I don't want to take anything away from Max Holloway, but because people looked at Jose Aldo as invincible, and that's the way people kind of look at George St. Pierre. I kind of look at John Bones Jones. And you look at certain fighters because you've never seen them dominated inside the octagon. And even Conor, again, it wasn't a domination. It was a knockout. And you got a flash knockout in 13 seconds. It was one punch. And that was the end of the night. And you go, well, that's fluky. There was nothing fluky about this. He got dominated by Max Holloway. Think about this. Wrap your head around this for the 145-pound division. There have been 3 champions in the history of the division. Aldo ruled it for over a decade until the 13-second flash knockout by Conor McGregor. And then he leaves the division at 145. Max Holloway comes in and gets the interim belt, and then this was the unification. So Aldo was champion, Conor was champion, leaves. Aldo becomes champion again until tonight. Max Holloway is just the 3rd champion this division has ever seen in 145 pounds. That's how dominant Aldo was for that long. And it looks like
he's taking the downturn.
I don't want to say it's over, but how he beats Max Holloway in a rematch, if there is a rematch, I don't know. Because he looks like he gave him his best shot. And Max, I mean, he's an animal. I mean, he just sits there and he looks at Jose Aldo in Brazil and says, come on, more. I want more punishment. Do you have anything left? I mean, Aldo had no response. Nope. Because I went down on my back and I couldn't defend off my back for the better part of a minute and a half. And Big John had to come in and stop this fight. So how this would be different a second go around, if that's the next fight, you know, Frankie Edgar, does he get back in there? He couldn't beat Aldo. He's had 2 shots at Aldo. I know Frankie wants that belt at 145, something he's never had.
Heading into this match, did you have any idea that it would go this way?
I really liked Max Holloway's chances in this. But again, as I said right before we came on the air, or as we came on the air, how do you bet against Jose Aldo in Brazil? And again, for people that just can't understand how beloved he is in Brazil, when he's fought down there at home and won fights, he goes into the crowd. It's like a body surfing at a concert. He's a rock star, and he is a legend. And they showed fans weeping after seeing their hero, their idol in Brazil go down. And to take the belt off of Jose Aldo and put it on Max Holloway, a Hawaiian, an American, and take that back to the States, they feel like something was robbed from them tonight. They feel like that's not the way it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is our guy's belt. This is Brazil. I mean, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts, the origins of it are in Brazil. And this guy came down to our home. Not only did he beat us, but he beat us down and, dare I say, embarrassed Jose Aldo, and then took his hardware and took his gold and put it around his waist and leaves town. That's a tough pill to swallow for the people of Brazil tonight.
Oh, it was a fight that delivered, that's for sure.
Oh, great main event, a great fight card. In Brazil, obviously, they had a fighter in every single fight tonight, which is very cool that the UFC does that, obviously, for the Brazilian home crowd. They had a great night up until the finale. Sorry. You can't always go as the way you want it. And it was, you hear Max Holloway get up there and speak, and he says, they ask him about the fight, and first thing he says, look, I just want to say, I get it. He's your countryman, and you root for him, and that's why I love you, Brazil, because your passion for fighting. And it's almost like saying, please let me get out of here. Like I have no ill will. I get why you
love all of you.
I get it. That's your guy.
See ya.
Sorry, I had to do my job. Max Holloway doesn't have to apologize to anybody. Congratulations, sir. You are the 145-pound champion, and what a dominating performance you put on.